Saya punya internet connection bagus lah. Okay, right. Okay, boleh nampak slide So today we're going to do capital allowance and also partnership income. So for capital allowance ni, it is actually in relation to our last week's topic, which is business taxation. So we have to look at business income and also business deductions. It's just that I think for this semester, I will not be focusing more on business taxation, but we do really need to know the business income, the business deductions, and also the format, as well as capital allowance. So I need to introduce to you the capital allowances topic before we move on to partnership, because nanti dalam partnership akan ada juga small computation on capital allowance. So tak adalah terkejut sangat bila buat ada capital allowance. Alright, so this is a very quite short. Saya tak ada plan nak go into detail, but just to introduce to you what does capital allowances means. And then if you have some maybe accounting background, you would know that capital allowances is actually equivalent to depreciation. Okay, so in accounting kita ada depreciation, but for the purpose of taxation, we call it capital allowance. The concept is quite similar. Right, so this is the format of tax computation. So for statutory income, section 4A, so I really hope that by now, you all semua dah ingat lah section ke sebelah sini apa maksud dia. What does it stand for? So for example, we always start with section 4A, small a, statutory income from business. So in this case, for example, if a person, he or she has two businesses, so this is how we should compute the tax, right? So for example, business one, so kita dah buat last week business taxation kan, let's say dia ada dua business, so business one kita ada satu income, business two kita ada satu income, and then we total up here. If let's say one of the businesses giving the owner losses, okay, so kita tolak unabsorbed loss brought forward. And then if let's say at the same time orang ni dia ada employment income, so kita letaklah dekat sini all the different types of income yang dia ada, rental royalties, and okay, so that will give us a total of ataupun aggregate income lah. Kita add all the categories, all the different categories. And then if let's say the business is making loss, tadi unabsorbed business loss brought forward from last year. Let's say the particular year ataupun the current year of assessment masih lagi loss, so kita boleh tolak dekat sini. Dia tak tolak kat atas, current year dia tolak dekat bawah selepas aggregate income. And then if they have donations, but remember it cannot be more than 7% of total income. And relief, kita dah buat personal relief hari tu. And then this is the chargeable income. Alright. So kalau ada apa ni, adjusted income dia, so this is the format untuk dapat statutory income from business, this one. So kita punya computation akan stop kat sini, habis kat sini. Kita dah tengok last week kita buat, kita kira tax kan for individual. So here yang saya letak asterisk ni, this is how you compute business income. Okay, statutory income from business. So kita start dengan adjusted income for that particular business. And then kalau ada balancing charge, ada capital allowance and balancing allowance. So tiga item ni is actually related to capital allowance topic. Right, so ada asterisk dekat sini. So that is why kita nak tengok lah, what does it mean when we talk about capital allowance, apa benda sebenarnya capital allowance ni. Right, okay, so capital allowance only applicable to business activity and not for individual. So let's say kita kata, oh as an individual I want to claim capital allowance, boleh ke? No, tak boleh. Capital allowance hanya untuk business, business activity and not for individual. So the purpose is actually to give a relief, It's just like kita buat personal relief tu, personal relief kita ada macam-macam relief kan. So this is actually to give a relief for wear and tear of fixed assets for the business, which means if a person owns a business, dia beli van untuk business, dia ada machinery untuk business kan. So every year the value of the asset tu goes down, kita kata dia depreciate lah. So untuk bagi relief to for wear and tear of fixed asset of the business ni, they are allowed or they are given capital allowances. Right, so for example here, motor vehicle, machine, office equipment, furniture. In order to qualify, expenditure must be capital in nature and used for business purposes. Claims for capital allowance can be made in the relevant column provided in the tax return form. Okay. Alright, so conditions for claiming capital allowances. So again, rule of thumb number 1 is mesti ada business. Tak boleh ada kereta, sekarang saya ada kereta, so saya nak claim capital allowance dalam saya punya relief. No, sebab saya tak operate any business. And purchase of business assets. Assets are being used in the business and the person must be the owner of the business. Oh sorry, owner of the asset. Tak boleh lah buat business guna kereta raya, nak claim personal, nak claim capital allowance. Tak boleh. So mesti owner, mesti nama sendirilah. Maknanya owner mesti nama sendiri baru boleh claim for capital allowances. Alright, so for capital allowances ni ada 2 types. We call it initial allowance and annual allowance. Which means initial allowance ni namanya pun initial. It is actually given the first year you purchase the asset. So the first year purchase the asset akan dapat 2 allowance lah. Satu initial, satu annual. For annual allowance ni is flat rate given every year. So let's say this year baru beli motor vehicle, dapatlah initial allowance and annual allowance. Next year dapat annual allowance sahaja. Initial allowance hanya pada tahun pertama. So kau tengok kat sini, fixed at the rate of 20% based on the original cost of the asset at the time when the capital expenditure is incurred. Annual allowance is also a flat rate given every year based on the original cost of the asset. Okay. So for macam saya kata tadi, the concept is similar to accounting concept depreciation, which means for particular assets, kita kata due to wear and tear lah. So this year beli, next year value akan turun, it will be depreciated. But for depreciation, the percentage is actually depending on the usage in the company. So rate dia tak fix. Company A mungkin ada heavy machinery tapi dia depreciate at 20% contohnya. Company B ada the same machinery tapi dia boleh depreciate 15% at 10%. Boleh. Itu untuk accounting. But for capital allowance, rate yang IRB bagi is actually fixed. So for example, if you purchase the business purchase heavy machinery or motor vehicle, initial allowance is fixed at 20%. Annual allowance is also fixed at 20%. Okay, if the company purchase plant and machinery, this is the rate, fixed. Tak boleh tukar-tukar. 14%. Computer and ICT equipment 20 and 40. And other assets. So others termasuklah furniture, fittings, office equipment, kursi, meja semua tu. So masuk dalam kategori others, 20% and 10%. So you can see heavy machinery termasuk ni lah all the assets listed here, motor vehicle, plant and machinery. Alright, for qualifying expenditure ni, dia panggil qualifying expenditure, which means when a business purchase an asset, they are entitled to claim capital allowance ni. So, but the deductions ni, given the deduction ni, allowance given under the schedule. Adalah schedule 3, plant and machinery, industrial buildings, mining expenditure, and all these different types of expenditure. Alright, so first of all, kita nak just go through sikit on plant and machinery. Okay, there is no definition, okay, tak apalah. Apparatus used for carrying on business is plant. Swimming pool of a caravan park, mere part of the setting used for carrying on the business is not plant. Contoh electric lamps. Biasanya tempat lah plant and machinery ni. Not shelter to business, not plant. Okay. Person eligible for capital allowance. Okay, so mesti fulfill these 4 conditions. Must have been incurred in providing the plant or machinery. Maknanya mesti belilah. The person incurring the capital expenditure must be carrying on a business and the person must be the owner of the asset and the machinery or plant must be in use for the purpose of the claimant's business. Okay, ni I think semua pun boleh faham lah. Mesti ada buat business dan mesti owner dan mesti guna untuk business. Expenditure incurred on installation of machinery is also considered as qualifying expenditure. Right, so for example kalau setengah kilang dia beli plant or machinery, dia beli mesin, dia kena install kat dalam kilang tu, so dia kena incur other cost, so that cost pun considered as qualifying expenditure. I think this part saya skip je kot. Kita boleh baca lah ni very simple explanation je. Nak cerita qualifying expenditure ni. Alright, so 3 types of capital allowances are given for plant and machinery. Again, dia ada initial, ada allowance, ada annual and ada balancing allowance. Balancing allowance ni kita tengoklah ada calculation ni So the example tadi tu boleh tengok sendirilah And then so this one saya just nak introduce to you the initial allowance. Again, initial allowance is given when a person first acquired qualifying plant for business use. Let's say untuk tahun 2022 ada beli kereta baru for business, beli van baru for business, right? So that person can is entitled for a 20% of initial allowance. Okay, and then lagi satu, for capital allowance ni, no time apportionment. Let's say beli sekarang dah bulan Jun, you purchase the asset in June. So, but you are eligible to get this 20%. Tak payah kira 6/12, tak payah. Dia tak ada no time apportionment. Eligibility, again, balik kepada 4 kriteria tadi. Annual allowance is given every year, as long as the asset is in use at the end of the basis period. Okay, and the rate varies according to industries and type of asset, table tadi lah. And it is computed on a straight line basis. Okay, so eligibility sama macam tadi, 4 criteria plus asset must be owned by the end of the basis period. Let's say guna asset ni dah lama tapi tahun ni you want to compute the income tax pada bulan, kita kira business punya untuk ujung tahun lah Tapi during the year asset tu has been disposed. Maknanya masa tengah kira tax computation asset tu dah tak ada. So you cannot claim for annual allowance sebab dah dijual Dia syarat dia mesti ada owned by the taxpayer at the end of the basis period. Tak kisahlah basis period dia bila Alright, ada one question dekat sini. So tadi kita cerita dekat sini where is my for eligibility tadi tu. Right. Okay, ini untuk person eligible for capital allowance. There are 4 conditions. Okay, so you can go back to the slide nanti and look at this question. So baca and decide. So here we have Krishnan, operates a restaurant. In order to expand his business, he needs a van, but does not have sufficient funds to buy one. Krishnan's brother Chandra runs a profitable grocery store business and Krishnan has asked Chandra to buy him a van. Chandra will pay for the van in cash and be responsible for the maintenance of the van. The van will be registered in Krishnan's name and will be used in Krishnan's restaurant business. The van will not be used in Chandra's grocery store business. So state with reason whether Krishnan or Chandra can claim capital allowance of the van. What do you think? What do you think? Anyone we can discuss juga who do you think can claim this capital allowance of the van? Krishnan or the brother Chandra? Okay, dia kata Krishnan, right? Lagi, any other answer selain Krishnan? Why Krishnan? Okay. Ada a few dah jawab Krishnan. Okay, lagi. Kita semua jawab Krishnan. Rasa. Rasa tak main Okay, I can see your points here Alright. Lagi? Tak ada siapa pun rasa ni belong to Chandra. Chandra boleh claim. Tak. Alright. Okay. Nak tahu apa jawapan dia? Rasa jawab betul tak? Dua-dua orang tak boleh claim. Not Krishnan ataupun Chandra. Why? Go back to the 4 points tadi. Alright, so kita tengok seorang-seorang I can see your reason is that you choose Krishnan sebab okay, Krishnan ialah registered owner, kan? Registered under nama dia. Right? So guna untuk business dia. Okay. Right. So fair. The reason is true betul lah. reason tu. Tapi, alright, you must fulfill all the 4 conditions. Kalau kita tengok dekat sini, nama Krishnan, yes. Guna untuk bisnes Krishnan, yes. Tapi Krishnan ada keluar duit beli tak? Dia incur tak the expenditure tu? Tak kan? Van tu siapa beli? Chandra yang beli. If kita pergi kepada Chandra pula, okay, yes, dia beli. Incur expenses tu mesti masuk dalam 4 kriteria tadi kan? So dia beli. Tapi business pula. Van tu dia tak guna untuk dia. Not be used in Chandra grocery store business. So sekarang ni dua-dua orang tak boleh claim. Sebab tak fulfill the 4 kriteria tu. Walaupun Krishnan tadi you kata dia legal owner kan? Yes, that's correct. Dia guna untuk business dia. Yes, it's correct. Tapi dia tak incur any expenses. Tak boleh juga. Boleh faham? Any question? Kita especially yang jawab Krishnan tadi lah. Yang tak tahu Chandra ke Krishnan ke tu. So that's how we decide mesti fulfill the criteria tu. Balik ke sini tadi. Okay. Ni dia buat business. Dia owner. Dia guna untuk business. Tapi Krishnan dia A ni dia tak fulfill. Dia tak incur the business pun. Dia tak incur the business. Dia tak incur the expenditure. So tak boleh lah. Right. So just to test you lah. Boleh dapat tak siapa yang boleh claim. The person eligible to claim. Right. So the first one is plant and machinery rates. Ini kita tengok macam tadi lah. According to the table. For plant and machinery. Kalau heavy machinery motor vehicle 20%, annual allowance, plant and machinery 14%, others, office equipment, furniture, fittings 10%. Ada juga we call it accelerated capital allowance. Accelerated ni maknanya dia double. Kalau tadi tu biasa 10% ataupun 20%, 20, 14 ataupun 10, but for accelerated ni, nama pun accelerated kan, dia cepat so dia double. Accelerated ini just for certain industries, for example utility company, dia dapat accelerated ni, so saya tak ada nak discuss into detail tapi kita ada ni lah rules 2009 tu. So accelerated ni initial allowance tetap 20%, but annual allowance dia double 40%. Kalau tadi yang biasa, this is normal rate lah, this is the accelerated rate. So like I said, the company yang entitled untuk accelerated ni is utility company, recycling company, agricultural sector. So if the company belongs to this category, dia boleh dapat accelerated ni. Okay, automation capital allowance, ni lagi lah 200% untuk high labor intensive industries, plastic, wood, furniture, textile, rubber products ni. Ini dapat 200%. So banyaklah allowance that they can claim. For sales ni tak payah tengok. Okay, motor vehicles not licensed for commercial use is restricted to 50,000. So kalau license untuk commercial use, not licensed for commercial use, but the motor vehicle is new and total cost when new does not exceed 150,000. So the qualifying expenditure is restricted to 100,000. So commercial use, for example, lorries, truck, business, bus, minibus, vans. So not subject to restriction. Kereta lah, this one is for cars. Kalau dia bukan license untuk commercial use, the amount is restricted at 100,000. Belilah kereta mahal mana pun, hanya boleh claim up to 100,000. Ini ada example untuk new car ni. New car costing 120,000, okay, to be used in business or by the director in year 2018. Calculate the capital allowances for year assessment 2018 and 2019. Okay. Sekarang dia kereta baru. Kereta baru used by the director. So used by the director, dia personal use lah, dia bukan business use. Maknanya dia masuk dalam kategori ni. Not licensed for commercial use. So here, the qualifying expenditure is restricted to 100,000 walaupun dia beli pada harga 120,000. So our calculation of initial allowance and annual allowance akan jadi macam ni. In fact, untuk plan machinery semua tadi tu, calculation dia akan jadi macam ni lah. You ambil the qualifying expenditure tu, darabkan dengan 20% initial allowance, darabkan dengan how many percent of annual allowance. So untuk motor vehicle dia macam ni. So motor vehicle initial allowance is 20% times 100,000. Annual allowance 20% times 100,000. So residual expenditure jadi 60,000. So untuk year assessment 2019 dia hanya dapat annual allowance 100,000. Okay, so residual expenditure untuk 2019 adalah 40,000. So kita carry figure tu sampai habis lah. So calculation dia macam depreciation. Daripada 100,000 ni kita akan tolak-tolak sampailah dia habis. And these two, for example for year 2018 initial plus annual allowance inilah capital allowance yang kita bawa dalam tax computation tadi. So for 2018 because dia baru beli aset, so dia dapat tinggilah 40,000 of annual allowance. But for 2019 dia hanya dapat 20,000 for the annual allowance. Boleh the computation is straightforward je kalau ikut untuk apa ni annual untuk capital allowance. I give you the straightforward example je. Hire purchase ya. Tak payah tengoklah. Okay, residual expenditure. Okay, ini kalau in accounting kita kira ini ialah our net book value lah. So in accounting, have my pen lah. So if you look at the format here, we call it residual expenditure. The balance lah, maksudnya the balance. So the concept is like I said, similar to accounting, whereby we have in accounting macam sini tadi, sini tadi kita ada okay, so look at this calculation, so ini adalah qualifying expenditure. So kalau dalam accounting we call this as cost lah, ataupun purchase price, kita ada cost. And then our initial allowance and so ini adalah kata allowance. Our initial allowance ini kalau dalam accounting it is equivalent to depreciation. Right, cost minus depreciation will give us what we call a net book value or carrying amount. So samalah in taxation, namanya is residual expenditure. Konsepnya ialah sama dengan net book value. So kalau tengok dekat sini, alright. So unused portion, any date, residual expenditure is arrived after reducing the initial allowance, annual allowance and notional allowance kalau ada. Ini biasanya tak adalah, kita kira dua ni je. Okay. So remember tadi kita ada initial allowance, kita ada annual allowance, kita totalkan dua-dua ni, nama dia capital allowance. Alright. Here, when you dispose the asset, when the asset is being disposed, discarded or destroyed, kita akan dapat satu lagi calculation that we will, and we call it as balancing allowance or balancing charge. Banyak term kita nak pakai kat sini. Okay, so dia hanya berlaku when only happen when the asset is disposed. Disposed, discarded or destroyed. Selagi aset tu ada with the business, benda ni tak ada. Okay, selagi aset tu ada with the business, calculation is macam ni je lah. Kira lah sampailah habis. Sampai residual expenditure ni jadi zero. Sometimes aset tu dia guna halfway je, lepas tu dia jual. Bila dia jual, kita akan ada macam ni. Okay, on one hand, we have a balancing charge if the sale price exceeds the residual value. Maksudnya untunglah dekat owner kan. Dia jual lagi mahal daripada harga baki. But there can also be a balancing allowance whereby the sale price is lower than the residual value. So kalau jual kira macam rugilah, you jual harga lower than the value of the asset. So contoh katakanlah residual expenditure kita 10,000. Kita jual barang pada harga 9,000. Rugi kan? Value dia 10, you jual 9 je. So we call it balancing allowance. If katakan residual expenditure masih lagi 10,000 but kita jual pada harga 18,000. So kita ada balancing charge. Tapi I highlighted here, the balancing charge is restricted to actual allowance given. Katakanlah our calculation tadi macam yang kita buat dekat sebelah ni tadi Let's say our total capital allowance hanyalah 7,000, contoh Then the balancing charge will be restricted to 7,000. Boleh faham tak? Walaupun dalam calculation kita balancing charge kita is 8,000. Tapi previously you have claimed 7,000 for the capital allowance. Walaupun dekat sini your balancing charge is 8,000, tak boleh. Maksimum yang boleh claim hanyalah restricted to actual allowance given. Boleh faham Ni kan, simple dia ni kan. Alright. Kita pergi ke example ni Saya bagi contoh lah. Kita terus kira je. Okay, katakanlah this example 100,000, 60,000. Residual expenditure dia 2019, 40,000. Okay, katakanlah same example cuba you kira. In year 2019, dia jual. Katakan dia dispose pada harga price 55,000. Okay, cuba kira. Dia dapat balancing allowance ataupun balancing charge. Sambungnya 2018 dia beli, 2019 dia guna, 2019 tak dah sorry, 2020 dia jual. What do you think? Dia dapat balancing allowance atau balancing charge? Okay, berapa? Continue je. From this residual expenditure 40,000 ni dia jual 55,000. Anyone? Any figure? Dia jual for year 2020 ni, dia dapat annual allowance lagi tak? Can you compute balik macam ni tak untuk year 2020? Kira ke tak ni? Adam, what is your answer? Mana Adam Zakwan ada? Kira ke tak ni? How much you get? Balancing allowance or balancing charge? Ikut sini tadi.
Balancing charge
Balancing charge. Okay, berapa ribu?
15,000.
Alright, okay. So yang ni, thank you alright, so because here tadi saya kata the year that you sell the asset tak boleh claim for annual allowance. So walaupun kita kata 2019 dia claim, dia dah residual expenditure is 40,000 2020 dia jual. Tahun dia jual dia dah tak boleh claim so you cannot compute lah letak 2020 tolak lagi 20,000 tak boleh. So you just compare the price 55,000 dengan dia punya residual expenditure of 40,000 So dia dapat balancing charge. So this is balancing charge. Okay Dia purchase tadi tak payah tengok, alright. Itu je untuk capital allowance. So by now I hope you can understand what does it mean by capital allowance, and this is how business compute their capital allowance. Ini tadi kita kira untuk satu aset katakan dia ada banyak aset, kita akan kira lah satu-satu and then kita akan total the capital allowance dia, bawa untuk semua aset pergi dalam kita punya computation yang ni tadi mana awal tadi tu. Right, so sini capital allowance ni. Okay, so tadi kita kira ada balancing charge kan, so this is where we put our balancing charge tadi. Kalau tak ada balancing charge then tak apalah. Kalau tak ada balancing allowance tak apalah. Maknanya let's say for new business, aset tu dia belum pernah jual. Dia beli tapi dia tak jual. Aset dia guna. So the company will only have capital allowance. And you have to add lah berapa jenis aset yang dia ada. The capital allowance for each asset tu akan masuk dalam calculation for business number 1 contohnya. Ada business number 2, do the same thing. Alright? Any question? Okay, so next would be saya continue terus je our partnership. Alright, so by now kita dah tengok business taxation, kita tengok individual, okay, individual taxation, kita kira personal relief apa semua tu. And then today we're going to look at partnership income. Alright, so for partnership income, we want to know first of all what does it mean by having a partnership, right? So for partnership, it means that parties who have agreed to combine their rights, powers, property, labor, or skill for the purpose of carrying out a business with a view of profit. Okay, they want to do business, but they need a partner. Okay, so but for income tax purposes, a partnership is not a chargeable person for income tax purposes, but it is a chargeable person for RPGT purposes, which means if the individual partner will be taxed separately. Okay, dia tak ada tax partnership, tax untuk specific partnership tak ada. Partnership, let's say ada 2-3 orang partner dalam tu, the partners will be taxed individually. Okay, based on their share of profit or income from the partnership. Alright, and when they have statutory income or adjusted loss arising from the partnership, so that will be a business income ataupun current year loss of each individual partner. Okay, right. So for example, a person ni dia ada employment income, dia ada dividend interest apa semua yang macam kita tengok tadi yang panjang-panjang tu. At the same time dia ada partnership. Jadi business lah in the form of a partnership. So based on the calculation from the partnership tu, let's say dia dapat statutory income. So kita akan bawa statutory income from partnership tu, and the calculation akan jadi sama macam kita letak business income. Okay, dekat atas. Under 4A tu. Ni apa Miss Kanita. Ini contoh just to show you the example whether partnership exists. Because first of all you have to decide dulu, kena tahu dulu whether in certain arrangement does the partnership exist or not. Partnership ataupun sole proprietor. We want to know sole proprietor ataupun partnership. Maknanya perniagaan tunggal lah ataupun partnership. So here we have Miss Kanita. She operates a beauty salon in Klang. Okay. She recruited 2 beauticians and paid them monthly allowances and provided free meals. At the end of the accounting period, she determined her net profit after deducting all operating expenses. She then drew 80% of the net profits as salary for herself and distributed the balance among 2 beauticians as a share of profits. So you have to explain with reasons whether the above arrangement constitutes a partnership business. Okay. So here we have to decide. Nampak macam, dia kata dia ambil gaji untuk dia, lebih dia bagi as a share of profit, as if macam partnership kan. But you have to look at the reasons here. So from the facts ni, Miss Kanita is carrying on business as a sole proprietor. The 2 beauticians tu bukan partner dia. Okay, so there is a master-servant relationship sebab dia bagi monthly allowance. The receipt by persons of a payment contingent upon the earning of profits or varying with profits does not by itself make those persons partners in the business. Right? So here, even though dia distribute balance tu, dia kata itu adalah share of profits, this is not a partnership. Okay, this is more like a sole proprietor sebab ada master-servant relationship. Alright, so if you want to go back to the definition of employment income, boleh tengok topik kita yang awal-awal tu lah. But in this case, just to show you that in this case tak ada, the partnership doesn't exist. Okay, again, the existence of a partnership is a question of law. So the transactions involved could constitute a partnership even without a formal agreement. Minors can also be a partner. Minors means bawah 18 tahun lah. Can be a partner in partnership but cannot be held personally liable until they come of age. Selagi belum 18, tak dikira sebagai liable, but they can be a partner. And all partners in a partnership are jointly and severally liable for all contractual and other debts and also liabilities, including tax and judgment debts. So semua samalah, partners ni kena liable for all contracts. And the different types of partner, before we move on to the calculation, kita tengok the types of partner. So in Malaysia, kita ada different types of partner. It can be full partner. Okay, full partner actively involved in partnership ataupun main partner. And the main partner ni biasanya submit the tax return. Okay, let's say ada partner A, partner B, dua-dua ni kerja sama-sama, aktif buat decision, aktif jual barang contohnya. So ini kita consider sebagai full partner. Capital pun yang masukkan capital mungkin sama. Next we have salaried partner. Salaried partner ni dia ambil salary daripada partnership. Kira dia kerja dengan partnership tu lah. Dia adalah partner tapi dia hanya ambil gaji. Mungkin dia tak involved in the decision making. Partner yang hanya ambil gaji. Okay, it can also be a sleeping partner. Sleeping partner ni biasanya dia tak participate in the business. Nama pun sleeping kan. And make sure your group member tak ada sleeping partner. Does not participate in business. Merely receive share of profits. Mungkin dia bagi banyak capital. Modal banyak dia bagi, dia tak nak ambil tahu. Yang dia tahu at the end of the year bagi dia profit. Macam mana nak run the business, macam mana nak buat promotion, how much gaji nak bayar dekat staff, dia tak ambil tahu. Dia tak ada involved in the decision making ataupun in the business decisions. Okay, dia bagi capital dia. That's why dia receive share of profits sahaja. Dia tak participate lah. And we call them sleeping partner. We can also have a corporate partner. Partner tu is a company, bukan orang, bukan individual. Corporate partner, partner is a company. It can also be a limited partner. Limited partner, silent partner whose liability is limited to the amount of the investment in the partnership. Generally, for in the partnership liability tadi kita kata all will be held reliable sepenuhnya lah fully but we can also have a limited partner. But later on of the notes nanti kita ada tengok sikit lah on limited liability partnership. So yang ni kita get dulu. Alright, the tax treatment of a partnership. Remember, a partnership is not a person, therefore will not be taxed under its name. Okay, ada partnership A, B, C. So partnership A, B, C will not be taxed under its name. Dia akan tax A, satu, B, satu, C, satu. Right, that is the tax treatment. No assessment will be imposed on the partnership. Tak ada assessment. Each partner will be taxed on the partner's income as having a business income. So this is the keyword here. So partner will be taxed as if dia ada business income. Of course lah kan, biasanya buat partnership ni memang untuk to run the business kan. So the computation of partnership is similar as business taxation, except no deduction are allowed for partners' wages, interest payable on a partner's capital account, partner's capital and private expenses charged to the partnership account in arriving at the provisional adjusted income. So tak ada deduction, no deduction. Kalau kita buat business ada deduction kan untuk interest lah, kalau ambil loan untuk salary tapi untuk partnership tak ada. So any payments or benefits to the partners are added back in the adjustment. So kena tengok ada the flow of partnership ni dia lain sikit dengan apa yang kita buat sebelum ni. So this is the tax computation. So you must remember the format kita akan start. This is a business, so we will start with profit before tax. If there is non-allowable expenses, kalau ada depreciation lah, loss on disposal of fixed asset, entertainment, ini semua not allowed. For the tax purposes, this is not allowed. And we add back partnership private expenses, partnership salary, interest on capital payable to partner. Alright, the concept is like this. The partner tu masukkan capital dalam partnership. Every year dia akan dapat interest. So bila dia bagi capital, dia kira pinjam kan, the partnership tu kira pinjam modal dia bila partnership tu pinjam modal tu, so dia kena bayar interest. So interest tu pergi kepada partners. At the same time, partners can also incur private expenses. Biasalah business sendiri kan, dia boleh spend for their personal use ataupun private use. So profit before tax, tambah balik non allowable, tambah balik private expenses, that will give us what we call as a provisional adjusted income. Adjustment dekat sini, provisional adjusted income. So whatever partnership private expenses ni kita kena tolak balik. Because why? Because we need divisible income. Divisible income ni maksudnya if let's say you ada 3 orang dalam partnership tu, ini semua total sampailah ke divisible income. Daripada sini baru kita nak bahagi 3. Right? Dia bukan daripada sini terus bahagi 3 tak. Buat all the adjustment dulu, tolak the private expenses dulu, baru bahagi dekat all the partners. And how do we divide divisible income to be allocated to the respective partners based on profit sharing ratio? Let's say partner ada 2 je. They share ratio 50-50. Senanglah bahagi 2 terus. Kalau ada 3, they share equally, one-third, bahagi 3 terus. Or it can also be ada 2, tapi ada seorang sleeping partner kan, dia bagi modal je, dia tak ada buat kerja. So maybe the ratio is 70-30. Yang buat kerja dengan modal tu 70%, yang bagi modal saja tak buat kerja akan dapat 30% of the profit. So depending on the profit sharing agreement. Okay, tak ada fix tak ada fix. Katakan partnership 2 orang mesti 50-50, tak, not necessarily. Up to the partnership or up to the partners to decide lah, based on the different types of partners tadi tu. So up to them to decide berapa persen will go to which partner. Okay, so this is about divisible income and adjusted income. So maybe this is the first time you are introduced to the word divisible income. So this is the income that we have to divide among partners. Okay, so setakat format sini, I hope sini semua tak ada, this is nothing new. This is like the format like a business income. Okay, tapi term kita pakai provisional adjusted income, tolak balik all the private expenses, kita dapat divisible income. So how do we divide and how do we distribute this divisible income? Okay, divisible income, saya merahkan dekat sini. Divisible income for the period is the provisional adjusted income less, inilah, provisional adjusted income less all the partnership private businesses, private expenses, termasuklah partners wages or salary, interest payable to a partner, private expenses of the partners charged to the partnership account. Whatever belongs to each partner tu, provisional adjusted income ni kena tolak dulu semua tu. Alright? And bila dah tolak, okay, bila dah tolak dapat divisible income ni. So adjusted income ini bila tolak kita dapat divisible income tadi kan. So this is the format for divisible income. For each partner, you must remember now kita ada 2 orang dalam partnership ni. Ini calculation sampai divisible income ni is calculation untuk 2 orang. Untuk partnership. Tapi bila kita dah dapat divisible income, how do we divide? Bila kita nak divide pergi dekat setiap partner tu, we call it as adjusted income of an individual partner. So that adjusted income from partnership ni lah, dia akan tambah lah dengan all the different types of income yang dia ada lah, employment, dividend, interest, royalty, rental, whatever yang atas-atas tu. Yang calculation selepas section 4A tu. So the adjusted income for an individual ni is share of divisible income ataupun loss. That can also be divisible loss. Business tu tak buat profit, so dia dapat loss. So calculation from here, divisible income plus remuneration, interest, private expenses from the partnership. Whatever private expenses tu kita tambah balik untuk that particular partner. Okay, this is the format ataupun the calculation dia. But sebelum kita pergi look at the calculation, kita tengok dulu the concept. So, what if we have change in profit sharing ratio? Okay, apportionment of divisible income on time basis and based on the existing profit sharing ratio. It can be, katakan dalam masa 1 tahun ni, Januari sampai 30 Jun, ratio dia setengah. Kita kata setengah-setengah lah untuk dua partner ni. Lepas tu start 1 Julai sampai 31 Disember, ratio dia dah jadi 70-30. So kita kena follow lah. You have to have two computations. Satu whatever income dia dapat pada masa ni dengan lagi satu after Julai. Or sometimes ada new partner pula. Oh, dalam dua partner ni seorang mati contohnya. Right? So the change in profit sharing ratio ni happens, sometimes happens. Dan kita akan kira lah based on the profit sharing existing ratio. It can also be a partnership losses. Tadi income, kita kata kalau income pun dia bahagi ikut ratio, divisible loss pun kita akan bahagi ikut profit sharing ratio. Okay, and the current year business loss can be set off against the other business and non-business income, and unabsorbed losses can be carried forward and utilized against other business and non-business income. So you have to go back to the format yang tadi kita tengok format masa awal tadi dengan format dekat capital allowance tadi kan, dia ada unabsorbed loss. So that is how we present the partnership losses. We can also have change in partnership. Okay, change dalam bentuk apa? Dalam bentuk satu new partner admitted. Okay, daripada 2 jadi 3, daripada 3 jadi 4, daripada 3 jadi 2, boleh juga kan. So, ataupun a partner leaving a partnership ataupun retire. Death of a partner. Sekarang ni, if ada death of a partner, panjang sikit cerita dia, especially for a partnership with 2 partners. So, because we all know, minimum numbers to be in a partnership is 2. Satu tak ada, tinggal satu. Tinggal satu ni dah bukan partnership dah nama dia. Kalau satu dia dah jadi sole proprietor. So, kalau sole proprietor apa kena buat? Mungkin kena liquidate je lah. Tak boleh work dah kan sebab tak ada partner. As find a new partner. Cari partner baru. Or as from a new partnership with remaining partners. Ataupun as buy out existing partners and continue the business themselves. Ataupun dia boleh jual je the deceased partners interest. Ini kalau ada death. So kalau yang lain-lain ni tak ada apalah biasanya. Alright. A bit on capital allowance. So capital allowance ni kita akan allocate to respective partners. Ingat tadi calculation kita capital allowance dapat satu figure kan for each business tu. But if it is for partnership, capital allowance ni kita akan bahagi ikut profit sharing ratio juga. So profit sharing ratio not only for profit, not only for loss, but also for capital allowance. Okay. And the partners in existence at the end of the basis period. So not affected even though there is a change in partner. Okay. Change in profit sharing pun tak apa. Tapi kita ambil profit sharing at the end of the basis period. Katakan tadi saya kata sampai bulan 6 tadi 50-50. Masuk bulan Julai dah jadi 70-30. Untuk yang lain-lain tu, untuk all the income tadi tu kita akan ikut ratio lah. For the divisible income tadi kita akan ikut ratio. Tapi for capital allowance kita akan tengok ratio at the end of the basis period. So contoh tadi at the end of the basis period ratio is 70-30. So 70-30 ni lah akan jadi ratio untuk capital allowance. Sebab keyword dia dekat sini at the end of the basis period. Okay. And also based on the partners in existence at the end of the basis period. Let's say ada dalam partnership tu ada 3 orang. Ada A, B and C. Hujung tahun C ni keluar dari partnership tinggal A dengan B. So capital allowance hanya akan pergi pada A and B. C tak ada. Sebab C dah tak ada at the end of the basis period. Kat hujung masa kita nak tutup account, C dah tak ada. So he or she will not entitled to any capital allowances. Okay. Okay, so this is the computation of partner's statutory income. Okay. Determine as follows. So adjusted income from a partnership source kalau ada, balancing charge and deduct capital allowance kalau ada capital brought forwards, kalau ada balancing allowance. So itu ialah statutory income dia. Right, I have one question dalam ni, one example dalam ni, terus ada jawapannya lah example ni. So here for instance, we have this partnership for Danny and Lynn, partnership for the basis year 2017. Okay, so this is their business account, profit and loss account. Okay, this is their sale, tolak cost of sale, dapat gross profit, tolak all the expenses related to the business, ada revenue expenses, ada salary, tolak lah all these expenses, partners interest and also private expenses. Dapatlah net profit 16,000. So remember, we need the untuk kira partnership income. Okay, so first step is to cari or to compute the provisional adjusted income dulu. Sebab remember we go back to this format tadi, mana? Okay, here nampak? Profit before tax. Kita kena start dengan profit before tax and tambah balik all the expenses ni, baru kita dapat provisional adjusted income. So this is the step 1. Step 1 kita. Right. Dapat net profit. So kita akan start with provisional adjusted income. We start with net profit. 16,000 tadi kan? Here, 16,000. Okay, we add back non-allowable expenses and also private expenses. So tambah baliklah salary, nampak salary. Kita tambah je dua orang punya. Salary, 32,000. Interest, 10,000. And kita ada private expenses, 2,000 Yang ni tak apa, this is revenue expenses, this is related to the business kan. Yang sekarang kita nak tambah balik, if you look at the format tadi, kita nak tambah balik non-allowable dengan private expenses. In this case, non-allowable tadi tak ada lah, tak ada loss on disposal, entertainment tak ada. So ni tak ada tadi. So in our example, ada private expenses. We have to add back. Okay, so we add back all the private expenses dekat sini. 50 ni tak payah sebab dia adalah untuk business, dia bukan private expenses. Okay, so tambahlah 32 plus 10 plus 2, jadi 44. So we have here provisional adjusted income of 60,000. Okay, so based on the format tadi, daripada provisional adjusted income tadi, okay, kita nak cari divisible income. Okay, provisional adjusted income less semua ni. So kita tolak balik. Right, so kita dah sampai sini provisional adjusted income, kita kena tolak balik all the private expenses. So tolak balik. Memang nampak funny lah because nombor you akan dapat nombor sama je dengan kat atas kan. Sebab apa? Sebab dia ada private expenses, dia tak ada benda lain. Kalau dia ada benda-benda lain tadi yang boleh tolak, so figure dia akan jadi lain lah. But now, private expenses je yang ada So kita tolak balik private expenses. This is the format divisible income. Dalam soalan tu letak 2003, salah tu. So should change to 2017 So dah dapat step 1, this is step 2. Cari divisible income. Start with provisional adjusted income 60,000 ni. Tolak balik all the private expenses, nombor kat atas ni tadi, 44,000, dapatlah 16,000. So here, assuming that Danny and Lynn agreed that the income will be divided equally, so 16,000 ni bahagi 2 je lah, sebab equally. Kalau dia kata 70-30, then you kira lah 70 untuk Danny, 30 untuk Lynn contohnya. Okay, so based from here, this figure 16,000, kita divide equally. Tengoklah profit sharing ratio. In this question memang bagi yang simple je equally. So divisible income for Danny is 8,000. Divisible income for Lynn is 8,000. Bila you total balik mesti dapat balik nombor ni lah. Jangan total tak dapat balik divisible income kan. Alright, ni belum habis baru dapat divisible income from the partnership ni. Next would be adjusted income untuk setiap partner. Kita kena kira sampai habis Tadi kita stop dekat if you stop here, this is for the partnership, not for the partners. Kena kira pula untuk Danny and also Lynn. Berapa adjusted income dia? Because why? This adjusted income ni lah dia nak bawa pergi kepada tax computation dia. Yang end of the day kita nak kira dia punya tax payable kan. Okay, so we need this untuk setiap orang. If let's say you're given Dennis punya employment income lah, rental income lah, dividend interest semua, then you can proceed compute lah sampai dapatkan tax payable, tolak relief whatever semua kan, dapat tax payable. So here kita tengok balik untuk Danny. Salary dia tadi 20,000, interest dia 5,000, dia ada private expenses 2,000, balik sini balik tadi private expenses tadi dia punya, Danny punya. And share of divisible income yang kita baru kira tadi 50-50 tu 8,000. So adjusted income untuk Danny ialah 35,000. Untuk Lynn dia ada salary 12,000, dia ada interest 5,000, private expenses tak ada sebab tadi Danny je kan. And share of divisible income 8,000. So total untuk Lynn ialah 25,000. So like I said, they will bring this figure to compute their tax computation sampailah dapat tax payable. Boleh faham? Boleh tak? You just have to understand the apa ni, computation dia nanti last kali nanti akan ada soalan, ada satu lagi soalan that you can try Alright. Ini saya tambah, I don't think dalam slide you ada partnership loss. Tadi untung kan bulan bintang je. Now I give you partnership losses. Information refers to partnership of Dan Fat and Tong B, salaries, interest and profit sharing. Provisional adjusted income of the partnership for the year ended 31 December 2017 was 14,000. Okay, ni you are not given the profit before the profit and loss account. Saya terus bagi provisional adjusted income je, 14,000. So look at this format tadi. Okay, kita nak kira now you're given the provisional adjusted income lah. Terus dapat this figure Right, I want you to compute divisible income ataupun loss and also adjusted income for each partner for year assessment 2017. Okay, you can refer to the previous slide untuk question. Okay, I give you 5 minutes to compute. Alright, we have one answer here, loss 4,000 and 2,000. Alright, sebab tadi kita tengok business income, they making profit. So here, if they have loss, so you have to compute the divisible income or loss and also adjusted income for each partner. Macam mana jadi 4,000, 2,000 tu? So you have to start with provisional adjusted income 14,000 tu. And minus the partner's salaries and also interest. So the business will get a divisible loss of 6,000. Okay. Nampak? You cannot give the 4,000 and 2,000 is the divisible loss untuk setiap orang. But remember when you are asked to compute the adjusted income, kita kena buat macam ni Nampak? Not only the share. Boleh Adam, your calculation is correct. The share of divisible loss is correct. Nampak? Tapi tadi you bagi saya ni je. I want the adjusted income. Adjusted income kena tambah balik apa benda yang ada dalam tu. Salary dia, interest dia, private expenses kalau ada. But you just give me the share of divisible loss tadi kan. Betul lah kat situ. Tapi tak dapat the adjusted income. I want adjusted income. So for adjusted income, this is what you should have. Sebab dia ada salaries dengan interest kan. Okay, so kita kira divisible loss dekat sini. 14 minus 20 tadi. 6,000. And divisible loss dia, the computation is apa tadi? Profit sharing third and 1/3 kan? Okay, so 2/3 4,000. Untuk dia 2/3, dia 1/3. So kita tambah balik. Salary, interest, kalau dia divisible loss kita tolak lah. Kalau sini tadi divisible income kan, kita tambah. Kalau dia divisible loss kita tolak macam ni. So adjusted income untuk Lian Fat is 7,000. Adjusted income untuk Tong B is also 7,000. Okay, boleh faham So adjusted income ni konsep dia sama macam yang sebelah sini tadi lah. We will bring this untuk dia punya tax computation. Alright, any question? Sebelum kita proceed. Boleh You just have to remember untuk partnership ni, that's why I said dia lain sikit. So you have to remember the steps tu. What figure ataupun what income that you are given in the calculation. Kalau macam tadi, my example, the first one example ni, I give you the profit and loss account. See, I give you the profit and loss account. So kena tengoklah apa net profit dia, then you start with net profit untuk dapatkan provisional adjusted income. But for this example, saya terus bagi provisional adjusted income. But you have to compute sampailah adjusted income untuk setiap partner. Boleh Boleh kan? Simple je kan? Okay, alright. Next one is Labuan Limited Partnership. Kita ada Labuan Limited Partnership. Yang ni, Labuan ni, so kita dah buat hari tu on offshore. So saya skip lah Labuan ni. Kita just nak tengok Limited Liability Partnership. Remember tadi one of the partnership tadi ada Limited Liability kan? But in general, like I said, generally partnership ni liability dia unlimited. Okay, if the business goes bad, then the liability akan pergi kepada owners tu, kepada setiap partner. But now kita ada satu clause, SSM ataupun Companies Commission of Malaysia bagi and they call it as limited liability partnership, which means the limited liability partnership ni dia different from company dia Act 2012 baru juga, different from company. So dia it's a hybrid kita kata hybrid lah, hybrid of a company and a partnership. Sebab kalau we know for a company liability dia limited kan, limited to whatever shares yang dia invest dalam company tu, bukan unlimited. For a sole proprietor, yes, kalau you business sendiri rugi ke apa, you have to tanggung semua but for company tak, up to whatever shares that you invested. So for LLP ni, limited liability partnership ni biasanya untuk accounting firm, audit firms, tax firm, memang dia pakai LLP, limited liability partnership. So dia hybrid of company and partnership. But the liability tu hanya up to the share yang dia ada dalam tu Similar treatment like company, chargeable income from LLP will be taxed at the LLP level at tax rate of 24% generally. Tax at dia macam company, 24%. Tapi kalau LLP yang besar, contoh audit firm yang besar, dia punya capital lebih millions, 2.45 millions or less, will enjoy a preferential tax rate of 19% on the first 500,000 of its chargeable income. Okay, and macam biasa kita tadi, profit paid, credited or distributed to partners in the LLP are exempted from tax. Nampak? Sebab dia treat orang ni as business The partnership tu dia treat as a business, dia bagi flat rate income tax. So whatever profit yang dapat dekat partners ni exempted from tax. Dia dah tak kena cukai dah. Okay, itu LLP Okay, so the tax treatment for LLP, kita tengok sikit lah for LLP the basis for determination of its basis period is similar to a company, trust body or cooperative society. The basis period dia macam business lah. Tax return are due within 7 months from the date following the close of its accounting period. So dia ikut accounting period, dia tak ikut tahun bulan 12 tu Estimate of tax payable and payment of monthly tax installment. Nampak? Dia macam business lah dia treat macam company. Pays the balance by the due date. Profit credited, distributed shall be exempted from tax. A company or a partnership which converts to an LLP is to be allowed to carry forward its unabsorbed business losses. Okay, so ini untuk LLP lah. So LLP can distribute profits to its partner. Macam tadi kita tengok kan, they can distribute profit and the profit is exempted from tax, which is good. So the profit paid or credited are exempted from tax, no withholding tax. Partners are not liable to tax on their share of income. Nevertheless, they will be taxed on remunerations, perquisites and benefit in kinds from the LLP. Nampak tak? Dia will be taxed macam kita kira employment income. Okay, sebab dia dikira, partnership tu dah macam company kan. So dia dikira sebagai part of the company. So they will be taxed on this part. So the payment is subject to income tax and is charged on the person concerned. Pergi dekat setiap partner tu juga. Alright, just to show you the comparison between LLP, partnership and also company. Alright, LLP, limited liability. Macam tadi yang baru kita tengok. Partnership, no. Ini partnership in general, no. Partners jointly and severally liable. Company pun limited, up to the share that you invested. Legal entity, yes. Partnership, no. Sebab partnership nanti, for tax purposes, dia pergi kepada partners kan, untuk setiap orang tu. Perpetual succession, LLP, yes. Sebab dia macam company. Company, of course, ada orang investor mati pun tak apa, boleh jalan. But partnership, no. Like I said, if you have only 2 partners, seorang pass away, tinggal seorang, no longer called partnership. So perpetual succession tak ada. Capital contribution, yes, LLP, company according to agreement and also partnership pun according to agreement. Minimum number of members semua sama, mesti 2. Maximum number untuk LLP no limit. Special sikit LLP no limit. Partnership maximum 20. Private limited company maximum 50. Members participating in management, ini pun according to agreement, according to agreement. Kalau company dia ada board of directors. Internal management rules, according to agreement, company, dia ikut companies. Access to finance, LLP, dia macam partnership kan, dia bergantung pada partners investment and also borrowing. Dia tak ada shares. Partnership sama, but for company, dia bergantung pada shareholders and access to capital market. So dia company kan, dia boleh pergi list dekat bursa. Untuk private ni kalau sendirian berhad lah. Okay, returns, LLP dalam bentuk share of profits, partnership pun dalam bentuk share of profits, but for company, return shareholders will get return in the form of dividends. Dissolution by court order, okay, boleh winded by the court. Okay, so at the end of the notes, you have one question dekat situ. Bong and Chio Enterprise, okay, you are given the profit and loss account. Adalah gross profit lah, admin expenses apa semua. Net profit and yang ni pun saya bagi share income equally. Capital allowance for partnership pun ada 8,000 and you are required to calculate partners divisible income and partners statutory income for your assessment 2018. So I use the word statutory ataupun adjusted lah. Kalau statutory tadi dia akan ada capital allowance lah. So you can go back to this format. Mana yang depan tadi. Alright. Ni lah. Right, because tadi kita stop at adjusted income kan for partnership because kita tak ada capital allowance. Bila you ada capital allowance, dia dah jadi adjustment dekat sini, then that will give statutory income from partnership. Then don't get confused with the term. So adjusted income kat sini, kalau ada capital allowance akan jadi statutory income. Any question tak? So for this one, kita akan discuss next week, but I expect everyone to do it. So untuk next week, the plan is that I will call up names and you have to present your answer on screen lah. Tak payah submit but I want you to present dekat screen, so whoever yang kena panggil nanti. Okay, boleh? Alright, habis dah. So today very productive. We managed to complete 2 topics, but very short. So I will see you next week. How's your assignment coming along? So the draft tu mana saya kata proceed, then you can proceed. Mana yang tak letak your proof of discussion, please put your proof of discussion dalam final report nanti. And I will give you the date untuk make sure everybody upload dekat YouTube because I need the link untuk evaluate. Janganlah pula pergi upload dekat your YouTube channel tak bagi tahu saya so I cannot evaluate you. But I will share with you the date lah untuk your final submission nanti. But if you need to discuss katakan tengah buat lagi and then you want to know apa lagi nak letak dalam tu besides whatever comment yang saya dah bagi based on your draft, you can just let me know. Kita boleh discuss lagi lah. I can check again your draft tu. Alright, so thank you very much. See you guys next week.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Alright,
Doctor.
okay.
Thank you, Doctor.